to the Expanding Your Search and Stopping for Directions podcast with Brent Bailey. And at the tech booth, Jody Cook-Bailey and Luke Cardio. We are growing our circles of connections and knowledge together with encouraging conversations and positive communications. And now, Brent Bailey.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Expanding Your Search and Stopping for Directions podcast. Sorry we're a little bit behind today. We had a little issue with technical problems, but, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully you're having a great day wherever you are. It is raining like a crazy thing here in Central Florida. I don't know about where you are. Some folks that we know in California actually are experiencing snow today, which is absolutely just bonkers, crazy to think that it's snowing in California. But anyway, I'm joined right now over at the tech booth. Over at the tech booth with Jody and Luke. And guys, let's get this show on the road. All right, shall we?
All righty.
All right. So I hope you're doing good wherever you are. And again, here we are with we're having technical problems here. So bear with us. I got a great show for you today. I got Marvin Leroy Jr., who's going to be with us, and he is director of a philanthropic organization, and he's going to be helping us to talk about several things. We're going to be talking about vision and also help, and a goal behind an organization like that is to help other people to get things off the ground and going. So, with that being said, what's going on in the country today, guys?
Well, today is National Chicken Sandwich Day. So you can go to your local place. Popeyes chicken.
Church's chicken.
Jesus's
Walmart deli.
Ew,
Jesus's chicken is also known as
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, Chicken Sandwich Day. I don't know if there are any deals on that, but you know, Chick-fil-A usually has good deals anyway. So chicken sandwich. But if you talk about Popeyes chicken, if you lead right into what the state day is, it's Louisiana.
Oh.
And Popeyes in Louisiana.
All right, then.
You know? So happy Louisiana Day to all of our friends in Louisiana.
Outstanding.
Yes. So the next
Now,
thing,
wait a minute. Let's just stop for a second.
Yeah.
No, let's talk about Popeyes for a second, because it is Louisiana-based chicken. But I want to say this. Everything was fine until Popeyes brought out that chicken to compete with Jesus's chicken.
They competed.
They compete at the with Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
So I mean, I'm just saying. I know that it is. You can't argue with it.
No.
Everything was fine.
But vengeance is mine, says the Lord.
I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I haven't had the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Chick-fil-A.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It?
Yeah.
I mean, I do like.
I don't
Chick-fil-A.
think it's good enough to dethrone Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
And there are enough Christians in America that they will keep Chick-fil-A in business.
Yes,
forever,
that is true.
so.
Now, how about KFC? Do they do a good chicken sandwich?
It is good. It is good. Now, see, all three of those are claiming a equal share in the market. I mean, it is. And then you have other companies like Church's Chicken and
right.
Church's is my favorite.
Church is not bad.
They brine their chicken.
The thing about it is where KFC for years was just known as the bucket of chicken.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they moved to having sandwiches and things like that. Chick-fil-A has always been known more of just a chicken sandwich or chicken nuggets, kind of a fast food type of thing. Popeyes kind of marries both of them together, because you can get a bucket of chicken
right
at Popeyes.
At Popeyes.
So, and Church's has always been kind of regionally. So
yeah.
Here on the Fried Chicken Podcast.
Exactly. That's what we're getting to talk about today.
Well, then
we have an extensive knowledge.
It's always a food thing here.
It is.
So.
And we have two food things on our.
All right, what is the other one?
Scrapple Day.
Yeah, you were talking about this beforehand. I have no idea what Scrapple
I've
is.
never heard of it either.
You don't think I said anybody think I said Scrabble?
No.
Scrapple.
Yes.
Okay,
So-
yeah.
And
with the
you
P.
need to explain it because I have
I'm
no
going to
idea what it
explain
is.
I'll be honest with you. When I read it, I was like, no. So basically, Scrapple is leftover food put all together and fried and made into some kind of a patty. So it's food that would have gone to waste. They consider, in some places in the country, consider a comfort food. It consists of pork scraps, buckwheat flour, cornmeal, and spices.
So this is, okay.
Yeah, so and they serve it with breakfast. You know,
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, listen, I would be the last person to criticize leftovers being combined
I
into
know.
something.
Yeah, I
Being
mean, like I
combined into
love
something.
Thanksgiving.
I
leftovers
worked at
together.
my uncle's grocery store when I was growing up, my first job when I was 16 years old. And I actually started working in the deli later on, and they had this very famous deli salad that they allowed us to kind of make there. And what it was is you would, when you're in the deli and we all know that the meat tastes better when it's, cut for you right there in those big logs, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you all know that, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And the cheese
Yeah,
and all.
it's good.
So you'd get it down to, eventually you'd get a chunk about this big, as big around as and you couldn't get it to go through the slicer anymore without cutting your fingers off. So we would throw that into a tub with, bologna, liverwurst, everything that
Right.
was left over. I mean,
Yeah, the
ham,
scraps.
everything, cheese, and then we would run that through the meat grinder and mix it all up and put mayonnaise and relish in it. And man, that stuff sold like cocaine. I mean, people loved it. So, I mean,
Expensive.
I would never say that something like Scrapple would be something that's just gross. Leftovers sometimes combining together surprise you.
Well, the
Yeah. Oh,
leftovers that are
I
consistent.
went a long way
in
around to
this-
say all that. So
You did, but that's okay. The leftovers in this is what I'm like. That's what sound gross to me. But I do like that kind of.
Yeah, I mean, you're a corned beef hash kind of girl. So
I love corned beef hash.
yeah.
It is good.
But
Yeah,
it's
not
all
bad.
beef. It's not pork scraps.
Is
Anyway,
corned beef half the scrapple of meat?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
really
even.
don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't know anything about it.
No idea. So
Tastes good.
anyway, what else? Anything else going on
Nothing
today?
else,
Well,
no.
folks in Louisiana know that we love you all here in
Yeah.
Florida, and happy Louisiana Day. I know it's
Yeah.
been a tough year, 2020, for everybody around the world, but
Everyone.
Louisiana's really gotten it bad because I think they've gotten 3 hurricanes this
Yeah.
year.
3.
Yeah, that have gone right into the coast side there. One was pretty big, so and then right now there's one in the coast or out in the Gulf right now that's supposed to be heading our way later this week. So,
Yeah.
but folks in Louisiana got a lot of friends down there. Love all y'all. Happy Louisiana, happy Louisiana Day. That was my,
That sounded like.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I can
It
do that.
sounded like the guy from Waterboy, right?
Yeah.
You can do it.
It also sounded like your good friend Dave Martin.
So, well, he's from Mississippi, though.
Yeah, I know.
So-
That's true.
Anyway, that's what's going on around the country today. Let's jump in with our guests as we expand your search. My guest today is a gentleman that I had the pleasure of meeting a few weeks ago in a conference call. If you remember, we had on our show my cousin, Tony Bailey, who is the founder of something called Key Vision, which is a educational program via video into many of the jails and prisons for folks that are incarcerated. He is excited to take this ministry across the nation to every prison and every jail. And our guest today is the gentleman that's helping him find investors and raise capital to make this a reality. I've been so impressed with this gentleman. Marv is the founder of the Institute of Philanthropic Excellence. He has committed his entire 30-year career to helping nonprofit organizations in their professional, volunteer, and consultant capacities. He's helped to advance the missions of dozens of entities in the education, health and human services, arts and culture, in all of those things that they're doing through these wonderful organizations. He's assisted with the raising of more than $250 million for great causes like that. He is also an adjunct professor at the Institute of Higher Education and Learning at the College of St. Roy, and he regularly presents at conferences and workshops in the areas of fundraising, strategic planning, and legislative affairs. Please welcome to the program today, Marvin Leroy. So Marv, welcome to the show. It's good to have you here.
Brent, really appreciate the chance to be a part of this. I know you have something special going on here, so.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, first of all, before we get into really what it is that you do, how are things where you are during all this craziness of COVID and all that? How's things going?
Yeah. I've been subject, like everybody else, to changes in the way we live our lives, in the moment. I used to travel every single week. I used to joke that I lived in the Northeast on weekends and was somewhere else in the country every day of the week. That has now changed to every third week with the travel restrictions. So I'm currently quarantining in a 14-day stretch in New York as per the requirements here. But we'll be back on the road in another week and a half. So
that's great.
The beat goes on. I do need to be present occasionally, although thank God we all have Zoom.
Yeah, right. It's kind of saved a lot of things from downward spiraling. So.
Yeah. It really hasn't. Who would have thought in the world of fundraising that I live in that we would have been making solicitation requests via a computer screen? That would have been heresy a year ago, and here we are. That's the new norm.
It kind of makes you think that Hanna-Barbera had a real vision of the future when they were doing that on the Jetsons, I guess 50 years ago. So. Anyway.
Those of us who were kids during that time wondered when that moment would finally arrive. I think we're here.
Yeah, right.
So I'm still waiting for those levitated cars, though.
Yeah, and the moving sidewalks and all that. Yeah, robot maids. That'll be a great thing. So, well, Marv, let's get into what we're talking about. As I was telling the audience, we did have my cousin Tony on several weeks ago to talk about his project of taking education to the incarcerated via video. Surprisingly, there wasn't already a program in place for that. But your company comes alongside places or things like that, businesses like that, or visions like that, and really helps them get off the ground. Talk a little bit about how your company works and how it does what it does.
Well, first of all, it's a tremendous opportunity for us to be a part of something like Key Vision. What Tony has done is extraordinary. I do suspect there are some other type of services like that out there, but as is always the case, people are working to perfect the mousetrap, and he really has hit on something that is going to make a real difference. He's currently doing that in Ohio, across that state. We're going to take him to a regional model and then to a national model. So for me to come to meet him, as is always the case with the nonprofits that are introduced to us with the Institute, we really feel blessed to be a part of all of these great programs and great organizations, to be able to expand their mission, and that's really our maxim: more money, more mission. They have great ideas, they have great leadership. There's so many wonderful things about 1.5 million nonprofits across the country. The only thing standing between them in the moment and what their bright future holds for tomorrow is what we can do for them. So to help them raise more money, figure out how to sustain a higher financial base, to do more and to serve more families.
Yeah, it's really important to hear those kind of words at the end there, because I know in this climate of today in 2020, and a lot of folks think, money, what do you need that for? And that, unfortunately, our world isn't free, and it's not just a thing to just walk around and take things for granted. Your company really got started to help specifically nonprofit organizations really get off the ground. Let's talk about the history. How did you get started doing this, and where did you begin?
Well, actually, it goes even deeper than that. I mean, there are a number of organizations out there that provide services like we do to nonprofits. What really distinguishes us is that we put our focus on the smaller to middle-sized organizations. They're the ones who wouldn't have even thought about having counsel helped them get to another place, or even could have afforded that. So we have a model that is very much driven by a sensibility of a nonprofit. We try to never say no to anybody who's committed to wanting to go to that next step. And we've had great success. I mean, the genesis of the Institute really dates back to late 2014, when I was working for a larger consulting firm working with mostly colleges. And I was grabbed by the arm walking out of a meeting of the board of directors of that organization. And the person asked me if I did hospitals and the YMCA's and community centers and other organizations, and I wasn't in a position to say yes. I had to say no because we really were focused only on the 2-year community and technical college at that time. So that was the beginning of it, and then the affordability model came into vision, and by 2015 we were off and running. And in that time, over the 5+ years since then, we've helped hundreds of organizations, and have really lived out that initial commitment to helping the little guys. And I can't think of a time, you referenced a bit ago, the nonprofits need money, and people in communities who are served by these nonprofits need the nonprofits to stay strong. And the one thing that is lacking for most nonprofits, especially the smaller to middle-sized ones that we deal with, are reserves. And never before in any of the history of these organizations, unless they date back to the early 1900s, have they gone through a period as rough as it's been over the last 7 8 months. If they didn't have reserve funds and endowments, and they likely didn't, they're struggling. There are some economists in the country who are predicting that as many as a third of the nonprofits in this country, 500,000 of them, might go bankrupt and out of business by the end of this year or early next year. So you can imagine the phone calls that we're getting now, about saving organizations. Unfortunately, there's no magic elixir or magic wand to do that fast. There are things we can do to help, but what the most important thing that we can do is to help those organizations be ready for the next moments like this that comes along and challenges them in their fiscal strength.
So our guest today is Marvin Leroy, and he is the founder of the Institute for Philanthropic Excellence. And that's a mouthful, isn't it? But and their website is moremission.com, and they're really helping organizations, especially like he said, the smaller ones and mid-sized ones, to raise funds so that they can complete their mission here on the earth. Marv, the heart behind the organization is incredible. I was telling the audience during the introduction there that you guys have raised somewhere north of $250 million, and it may be more than that now, for these organizations, and that's a staggering figure. And so it's a really honorable thing to see and to hear. Let's go back to the beginning, though. How did you get started?
Me personally?
Yeah, how did you get started doing this?
Oh my goodness, it dates really back to my college days. I had to make decisions. I was on the track to go to law school, decided that I really liked public administration and government, went into that track, and then ultimately was directed more into the world of nonprofits. I was in government when I first graduated from Siena College way back in the early 80s. And then I was recruited away from government by a YMCA in my old hometown to go and help them, elevate their place, do a campaign, keep the doors open, really. And had a great experience, and then was recruited away from them. Kind of got a reputation early in my life of being a fixer, a guy who went in and helped nonprofits who were struggling and didn't have fiscal resources to really make it through the day. That was a tough assignment for a young professional. But I had some good experiences, and more than anything else, what I learned was if you're going to strengthen your organization, you need to be a good fundraiser. And back then, there weren't programs where you could go off to college or training programs to learn how to do fundraising. Most of us learned by the seat of our pants. I left a management position at a nonprofit and went to work for Skidmore College at that time to mostly learn how to be a great institutional fundraiser. Took that experience and parlayed it into roles with the Alzheimer's Association, other colleges, and had some great experiences across the broad spectrum of nonprofits in leadership roles. And then at 50, decided I could be a consultant. I felt that I had things to offer. I didn't want to just serve one organization at a time. I thought I could serve many. And here we are, serving many organizations coast to coast. And I really wasn't a businessman. I mean, I spent some time on a bank board and had some experiences as a professional in that in the for-profit side, but very limited. And when I started the institute, there's obviously a business component to that. To be a consultant, you really have to be an expert at something, but you also need to be a business person with some acumen. And I wondered if I had it in me, and thankfully I had enough of it in me to get to this point. So we're living out the business plan. We've met every aspect of it.
That's so cool. Our guest is Marv Leroy, and Marv, as we kind of have, as you said earlier, the last 7 or 8 months for many nonprofits has been a nightmare. If you were going to give any advice to somebody, just a small nugget today, what would that be? What would you tell somebody right now who's experienced these last 7 or 8 months?
Yeah, I'll share something, especially with the younger, the newer folks in the arena. It took me near 20 years to finally realize that the only difference between a for-profit company and a nonprofit company is what you do with the profits. If you're somebody who doesn't recognize that, you need to have fiscal strength to ensure to your employees, to the people you serve, to the communities that you're a part of, that you're going to be that strong support that people need, regardless of whatever your services are. You're really doing a disservice to yourself and others. You have to have fiscal strength. That means you need to be knowledgeable about fundraising. You need to understand you have to have reserves, and you have to make sure that when the bad times come along, you're ready to withstand those, because you can be certain, like in this moment, when bad times come along that challenge nonprofits, they're challenging the families and the individuals that you serve as well. So if you're gonna be there for them, you have to be there for yourself, and that's really what we do. I mean, and we do a lot more than just pure fundraising. We certainly work in the world of legislative affairs, try to position organizations to get government funds. We do marketing communication to help elevate their profile in communities. We do plan giving programs where we work with organizations to get more estate gifts so they can plan for their futures. All of these things are interconnected in the work that we do for organizations. We have 40 independent contractors all around the country in 18 states and the District of Columbia. All of us are legacy builders. We kind of had great careers, and now we all have gray hair. I guess the definition of a consultant. They're further than 50 miles away from home, and they have gray hair. That's who we are, and we're not about making money and getting rich. The richness that we feel is in the reward that we're doing good work, and we're helping organizations serve their communities. That's amazing. I'm going to throw some information up on the screen right now. If you'd like to get more information or to just kind of see what Marv does in action, you can go to the website. It is moremission.com. And you can, there's some really good interviews on there. There's a lot of information about the organization on there. If you are somebody that's looking to receive help from an organization like this is the place to go to, moremission.com. You can also find them across social media. On Twitter, it's More Mission IPE. On Facebook, it is More Money, More Mission. And on LinkedIn, it is Marvin R. Leroy Jr., and you can, sure enough, reach out to them. They would, I'm sure, welcome any interaction that they get with you. Marv, I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. I know that we're continuing to, pray and help with Key Vision, and I know that I know Tony's grateful for the relationship that you guys have developed over the last little bit, and we're looking forward to hearing more great things coming out of that. So thanks for your time today. Have a great rest of your day. And thanks. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate it. Take care. All right.
believe it or not, there are plenty of people out there that are all about help. And I wonder if I could ask you that same question. Are you all about helping, or are you all about getting your way? And as we walk out through our things in our life, there's a lot of things that we're always wanting to see happen for ourselves. We're always wanting people to help us. We're always wanting people to do things for us. We're always wanting people to reach out for us. But then when it's our turn, we kind of don't answer the phone because we want the machine to get it. We don't answer cell phones, so we send it to voicemail. There's a lot of times that we don't really offer the help that we so desperately need in our own lives. This unleashes a principle that is called a spiritual law, and that spiritual law is the law of sowing and reaping. But the Bible speaks specifically to people that do need to make help a priority in their lives. And I want to say to you today, why don't you sow some help into people around you? Hebrews chapter 13, verse number 16 says, do not neglect to do good and share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing unto God. How many people have you helped lately? Have you been avoiding people? Have you been keeping your cell phone on silent? Have you been sending them to voicemail? Have you been, staying in your house and away from everybody because of, for whatever reason? I want to challenge you today. If you expect people to help you in your time of need, the best thing you can do is sow the seed of help into others. And during a time like this, when it's easy to be afraid, and it's easy to be scared, and it's easy to wonder about what's going to happen next, the best thing you could do is run out and help somebody else. The moment you do that, I promise you, things begin to change. You get the focus off of yourself and off of your fears, and you get the focus onto somebody else, and it leaves room in your heart for God to do something for you. Are you going to help? I hope so. It'll make this world a much better place. That's going to wrap it up for the show today. I want to thank Jody and Luke as we're plagued with problems today, but it is what it is. It is something about doing media that we, things don't always work the way we want them to. But you know what? We're helping other churches and other media get themselves off the ground and get themselves online, and so we're expecting things to work out better for us. So with that being said, thanks, guys, for a great show today. I want to thank Marv Leroy for another great interview. It's fascinating to hear what his organization is doing. It's very exciting at the same time to see so many people reaching out and doing something for someone else. All right. You'll not want to miss the next show. It's going to be a great one because we have the comedian Nazareth with us. He's going to be here live on our next broadcast, and I promise you, a lot of us need to laugh right now. So come and join us on the next program for Nazareth. All right? God bless you. I hope you found what you were looking for today as we took the time to expand our search and stop for directions. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks for joining us today. Connect with us on @expandingyoursearch on Facebook and Instagram, and @expandingsearch on Twitter. Relive any of our episodes on YouTube. We're available wherever podcasts are found, including Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. You can also download the Direction Ministries app on iOS, Android, Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. Take some time today to expand your search and stop for directions.